Yes, guys, knowing our worth is very, very important, right? Knowing our worth, then we can watch videos freely without questioning ourselves. We don't have to be like, oh, am I doing this right? Are my beliefs right? You know, the whatever clips, and a lot of clips that are on social media now, very negative. They talk about how you're not going to find a guy, you're not going to find a girl, you're not going to find success, you're not going to this, you're not going to that, right? A lot of videos tell you that, and it's like, why are we subjected to watching videos that tell us that we're not going to get to where we want to go, right? Obviously, some people don't get there, and some people don't live that life. Some people don't have what they want. Some people don't get what they want, right? It does happen, but even if it does happen that way, why would we want to think about that all day long, right? But yes, some videos just open up with, you're not going to be successful, you're not going to have this, you're not going to have that. And you're like, well, like even like Gina, the creator that does like matchmaking, very positive girl. A lot of her advice, incredible advice, very good advice, right? And sometimes I'm skeptical of her videos, and I'm like, but then I watch them like, this advice is really good. I can use this advice when I'm in my open relationship and trying to find someone other than my wife. So this is good advice, right? Or sometimes you just have to, you just watch whatever you watch, you just enjoy, right? What the videos. I love her as a creator. I can watch her all day. But there are times where she just says, you know, these are the 3 things you must have to find a man, right? You could be crying, you could be throwing tantrums, you could be having a major fit, and you could still find a man or a woman, right? So, does it matter? You know what I mean? Like at some point you just have to say, like, all this abundance of advice, you're just like, okay, well, at some point you have to say, you know, I think it doesn't matter at some point because, you know, I've seen this person do this person do that, and they were not doing well, and they were still found a partner, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, and finding a partner is not the be-all, end-all, right? Finding a partner, it's great, I love it. We all need love, for sure. Actual encounters, or actual love, passion, X, right, in a marriage, or in a relationship, very important. Very, 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 very important. We all need that, we all need that. But in general, in life, we can survive and obviously we need that. We want that. If we don't need that, we do need that actually. We do need love in the world. We do need to have a relationship. It makes us more whole. It makes us a lot more happy, right? But if you're not getting those things or you're not having those things right now, you shouldn't feel like you're never going to get there. And you shouldn't feel like it's something that is out of reach or something that you can't get or something that you don't feel you'll ever have, right? Because in general, we all need to feel like we're going somewhere, right? If you have somebody saying to you, you're not going to get this, only this person gets this, nobody gets this, you're to this, you're to that, and it's negative. If you're getting constant feeding about that, then maybe you could be a more popular person, or maybe very healthy person, but you're just surrounded by all these negative videos and you just feel like you're in a rut, right? So no point in really, and those videos are good, not to say they're bad. Sometimes you need tough love, sometimes you need to watch a video that says something negative so that you can lift yourself up and say, oh, I'm not like that or whatever. Or you can say, maybe I am like that and I can improve, right? Or maybe like the whatever clips. I love whatever clips very, very much. I can watch whatever clips all day. And they're very, very good, don't get me wrong. But sometimes they're very negative and say very negative things and you're just like, well, like it's like saying a feminist can't find love. Well, honestly, and there are a lot of feminists maybe that can't find love, but I mean in general, I think a feminist has equal opportunity to find love as someone that's a doting wife, right, or a doting husband. Well, I guess doting wife, they mean wife, right? So if you're a doting wife and you're just always focused on finding a partner, and you've had a long-term relationship with someone, and you're not in a relationship, but you're trying to find a long-term relationship, and you want to wait for marriage, that stuff does happen, and people do those things. And so if you are that person, maybe you feel like, yes, I'll find love, right? But saying that a feminist can never find love, I mean, it just doesn't make sense, right? Because there are feminists that find love all the time, right? Or maybe, you know what I mean? Like and you can't take it too seriously, right? I mean, it's just a podcast, right? But in general, you're just like, some of the things they say, and I think a lot of these people that are creators nowadays will just say all these things to make people riled up or to make people feel like they are basically going to, be in a downward spiral or whatever, because they want people to feel like, to watch their videos, right? That's almost the only reason some of the people will do these things, right? So it's not a matter of, oh, this is fact, this is what's true, which sometimes it is, but sometimes it's more of a matter of, what can I say to get me the most views? So I'm going to do the complete opposite of what people think, and then see how it goes. Or maybe I'll say something very negative about the most common trait in the world, and then see how people react and get all these followers, right? Some people really don't care about positive or negative comments because they do so many positive or negative things that they sometimes end up getting, they sometimes they completely control the turnout of what they're saying to be, it's calculated in a way, not in a bad way, right? There's nothing wrong with doing that. You're allowed to do that, and you are allowed to get people riled up if you want. You are allowed to get people making all these comments saying, "Oh my God, why did you say that? That's not true." Or you're allowed to do that, right? There's nothing saying you can't do that. It's just that when you do that, people have a false sense of what's going on, right? But in general, I'm educated. I have 2 degrees, so I know things that are on social media are not necessarily fact, right? But some people might not feel that way, right? They feel like, oh my God, this is fact, right? What's going on, right? And maybe there are things that I'm not aware of. Maybe that is the facts. Those are the facts, and I'm not aware that they are the facts, right? But in general, like it's like saying to someone, you're overweight, you can't find a date. There's no way you're going to find a date, right? Well, there are a lot of overweight men and women that date more than thin people, right? So is it really that you can't find a date if you're overweight, or is it that podcast is saying that to get you riled up, so that you comment and say negative, comment like crazy to that video, and then you're always commenting to that video, and then you're not really, you're just like watching and subscribing because you feel like they're wrong, which they are to some extent, because some people that are not, being overweight can be unhealthy. You can find it more difficult to find dates, but there are some people that are overweight that love life and find dates easily, right? But it just depends on who you are as a person. Some people are confident in their skin, and some people aren't, right? I would say maybe they're trying to get to the point of the matter where it's more common to find someone that's overweight that might not be confident. But in general, you can't say flat out, you can't get a date because you're overweight. I've seen so many couples where the person's overweight in the relationship, and the other one's like a demigod or like gorgeous, right? Or a goddess, right? So you can't say that it's like that, right? Full like necessarily. And the thing is, a lot of people like the stable person where they just feel like they're very much, they're just a stable person. They have the regular routine in their lives. They don't strive for certain things. I mean, not to say that you're overweight, you don't strive for things, but some people just like the housewife or the house husband that just sits at home all day, that doesn't have a career, because that's more stable, right? And that's the whatever clip, right? Like some of the things you hear from them saying might be true because it will really resonate with that, right? Would you rather have a spouse who's on all these platforms doing all kinds of things, just living and exercising constantly, everybody likes them, wants to date them, and feels like happy with them and wants them so badly, and everyone's competing for their love, and they're on TV shows where there's all this drama, and all, do you want that person, or do you want someone that sits at home and is a house spouse and does that all day, maybe is chubby, not necessarily, and they just are doting on you and affectionate to you and focused on you, It's a matter of opinion, and it's a matter of what you actually want. And maybe some of those things on whatever clips are true, but I mean, for me, a lot of people that I know are feminists, right? And a lot of people that I know are overweight and successful, right? So, I mean, for me to say that these things don't exist when you hear these videos on whatever clips, and they have a wide range of videos, right? So they cover a lot of topics. Sometimes they say the feminist is doing well, sometimes they say the feminist isn't, or sometimes they say the overweight person can be doing well, sometimes they say they can't and they aren't, right? So it just depends on what you're watching and how much you take it for facts, right? And it could be facts, right? Everything could be a fact at some point, right? Because there's all these exceptions to rules, There's all these things that are outliers. There's all these things that may happen. There's all these things that might never happen. There's all these things that are, potentially true, if you just tweak it a little bit, or, you know what I mean? There's lots of things that can happen in life, right? There's either the really strict conservative person with themselves that dates long term, or the feminist who really feels that long-term relationships can happen, and maybe they do for them. That's probably what they more or less mean. Feminists might be dating more, might be doing a lot more in terms of their career, and guys might not feel as into that. But I mean, for me, the people that I know are all feminists, right? And they all have a relationship, so I don't feel like it's something that you have to really, question, really, But whatever, to each their own. And the whatever clips, I value that. I love the whatever clips. I really enjoy that. But I think, and the thing is, we don't know, right? Because some feminists might not be in a relationship, and they're just saying they are or whatever, right? But I mean, in general, like my kind of person is someone that goes for a career, whether man or woman, has their own life, does their own thing, like Beyonce, right? Beyonce says she's like that. So, has their own life, has their own career, and dates long term too, right? Or dates whatever they want, right? Multiple partners, long term, whatever, right? But in general, that's my kind of person that is in my life, right? Those are the kind of people that I usually resonate with, right? But, we all, the whole point of it is, in 2023, there was an abundance of advice. There was an abundance of things in life that we heard, or things that we saw. But what we want to do is to say, we just say, not that enough is enough, because I love watching those videos. I really enjoy them. A nice debate here and there is intellectual, very good. Maybe these topics are not super intellectual, but they're interesting topics to me. I like them all. And on many days, I'll watch whatever clips all the time. I love them. But in general, when you're living your own life, at some point you have to say, this advice is great, I love it, but you have to lead your own life the way you want to, right? Anyway, totally enjoy it.